Well, children, we have come again to discuss about science of class 6, chapter 3, Fibre to Fibre. Children, you know that you put on school uniforms or the dresses that you get for your puja occasion or the Christmas or any other purposes, or sometimes when there is a marriage at your home, or sometimes when you go for some trip, you tend to buy the new clothes and dresses and make them suitable as you like that. If you are going to a place which is very hot, you will choose the cotton clothes and their color must be white and all those, so that the sun reflects and the heat is not absorbed. Why? If you go to a very cold place, then you obviously will take the woolen and all synthetic cloths which prevents the cold. And number two, that the color should be dark so that the sun's rays are absorbed and the heat is absorbed, not eliminated. So that is how you do. Now, have you ever seen when you sit at your home, right now you are at quarantine and you sit at your home and also watching sometimes through the windows in front of your house, if there is a piece of land like a small field or something else, there you see the various kinds of cattle and all those are roaming around. There you can see some sheep and goat, they are also roaming around there. Right now, like that, we have the clothes to make, and for that we need the fibers. Right now, we need to have the fibers for our clothes. Okay, right now. So this is the fabrics. The fabrics is the material from which the cloth is prepared. Now, how the fabric is made? The fabric is made by the fibers. And how do you get it? The fibers are obtained. The fibers are obtained in a variety of types. Number one, the cotton. Cotton fiber, what you get from the plants. In India, there are many places like Gujarat, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh. There the soil is black and it's a warm climate, rain is also there, and so cotton is very well suited there, the crop of cotton. And cotton are two types, usually coppice and simul. So usual cotton, the simul plant, is a very large, tall plant, while the coppice is a plantation from where the cotton is made and produced. Now, cotton is absolutely a natural fiber because we get them from the plants. We get them from the plants, cotton plant. Alright, now next is woolen cloths, what I was speaking right now about the places where it is very cold. You go for the warm clothes, and these clothes are made out of the wools, the fibers that made out of the wools. Now, how do you get the wool? Wool is also a natural fiber, but that is not obtained from the plants, that we get from the animals. Like the sheep, what I was telling you a little bit earlier. The sheep, some type of goats, yak, camel, and rabbits, especially Angora. Angora rabbit's wool is very fine, the finest. So like that. Even in some places, if there is yak and all, they can obtain the wool from that also. So that is the history of the wool. Now we get the another kind of natural thread which is known as silk. Now silk, you know, it is also a plant, animal product. Longing on the plant, but it is an animal product. It is given by one kind of insect. This insect is known as moth or silk moth. Its scientific name is Bombyx mori. Its scientific name is Bombyx mori. Children staying near Siliguri, you can see the fields where the mulberry plant is planted. In the mulberry plants, the silkworm that they lay on eggs, and you can go to the Naxalbari side where there are mulberry plantation, and there you see the silk rearing places. In other places like Murshidabad, all those are there. There you can get all this. In the mulberry plants, when the moth lays egg, after some days the eggs hatches to give you the caterpillar. Caterpillar is a voracious eater. It goes on eating all the mulberry leaves and slowly and gradually becomes fat. And as it becomes fat, because it has to gather fat, because it will go under metamorphosis. That means after some days it will go forming a cocoon when it is having enough fat in its body. So it will leave a kind of enzyme from its mouth and close itself by making a cocoon, and it will stuck with the leaves of the mulberry plants. And after being seized or closed them in the cocoon, they will remain there for a certain time. And as the development will go slowly and gradually, after some days at maturity, they will cut the cocoon and come out as the adult moth. Excuse me. But the people, those who are working on the silk, they will never allow the moth to come out as an adult one, because then the cocoon from which the silk is made will be cut apart and the threads that will come out part by part. But they want the long threads to be made. So that is why they take a certain amount of time. After that they pluck or collect all the cocoons and dip them in very warm water to kill the insect inside. And after that they take out those cocoons and the yarn is made from that, and from there the silk fabric, fiber is made. Fiber to yarn is made. Well, now the fiber, as you know, in Hindi it's called tantu or resha also is there. Except of that, there are another kind of fiber is there. That fiber is known as the synthetic fiber. Human beings they have made a lot of improvements and advancement in the scientific technology. And for that, they are able to make the synthetic fibers from the various objects. And these synthetic fibers are also known as the man-made or artificial fibers. You know, the silk is very, very expensive. And the human beings were in search of a replacement of the silk. And lo, finally they got one, which is known as rayon, R-A-Y-O-N. And this rayon is also known as artificial silk. Why is rayon known as artificial silk? Because it is partly made from the plant resources and partly from the artificial way. So that is why they have got the replacement of the silk or artificial silk. Well, fabrics are made up of yarns, and yarns are made up of the fibers, and yarns are made up of the fibers. Now, by knitting or by weaving, two processes are there. By weaving or by knitting, that is how they make. And all the threads that is chosen always goes in right angles, in lengthwise and in breadthwise. If you have taken a piece of cloth, if you might be getting the example in your book, and in the book if you see the small piece of cloth and if it is steering very slowly, taking out the threads, you will see some threads are longitudinal way, the other ones are in horizontal way. So that makes right angles and very close right angles. So that is why they are knitted, net-like structures made in for the fiber. Now, we have already discussed about the natural fibers, plant fibers and animal fibers, and synthetic fibers. Synthetic fibers are, you know, I told you one under rayon, the nylon. It's very, very useful. Strong ropes are made. The mountaineers, they use the nylon rope for climbing the mountains along. Alright, and then polyester. Polyester, many kind of cloth that comes in polyester, and polyester is used in making other kind of things also. It is terylene, or which we can make the dress of terylene. And polyacrylic, which is known as orlon. That is also a very good material for the cloths. Okay. Now, for the cloths, they are known as the artificial fibers or the manufactured fibers because the human beings manufacture them in the factories, so that is why they are the fibers. Well, what we'll test for? If cotton is tested, you got a fiber, whether it is a cotton or not, how do you know? I have given you a piece of fiber. How would you test it? Testing is very, simple way. You test the fibers, whatever the fibers you get in the fire. That means you fire them. Obviously not by holding with your hands. You take it in your tongue. Tongue, you know, that type tongue. With that you catch the fiber and then light the fiber in a candle or sometimes. What will happen? If it is cotton, then when it burns, if it is cotton, the smell will come as the burnt paper smell. What is it? Cotton gives burnt paper smell. While the other one, number 2, wool. If it is wool, when you burn wool, the smell will come as the burnt hair. You see, sometimes your hair burns also for some reason, good reason, or pluck a piece of, long hair and burn it in the same way in your candle, and you see the hair smell will come, which will match when you take wool fiber also. Same, smell that will come. So that will confirm that is the fiber is a wool. And then you come for the silk. Charred meat smell. When the silk is burnt, the smell will come as the charred meat smell. On the other hand, if the burning gives you the plastic sensation, that means all the plastic kind of smell, then it is the synthetic fiber. Then it is a synthetic fiber. Well, now cotton, I told you, it is produced in the black soil and it is produced most of in Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, some parts of Madhya. Another natural fiber is flax. Now, flax is a plant where the fibers are made and they are also used in making various kinds of objects. So, flax is also a plant fiber. It is grown and then harvested as the flax fibers. Alright. The third one is the jute. Jute is very common and it is properly reared in West Bengal, Bihar and Assam. And jute once was a very, very good harvest as long as there was no synthetic fibers. You know, the jute makes earlier the gunny bags. In gunny bags, all the harvested food items used to be there earlier. Right now the use has been gone a little down, but excuse me. Yet there is huge use of the jute fiber is also there. And jute also is obtained in various kinds of color. Golden, beautiful jute fiber is very much, what is called expensive and good. They make some cloths also from the jute fiber also there. Okay? And except for the jute fiber, there are, the plenty of coconut is produced in India and the coconut fibers are also used. So, coconut fibers are used and these coconut fibers are used to make the various kinds of ropes and carpets and what is called fabric, various kinds of coconut fibers, they make these things. Now, making of fibers, how do they make the fabrics? The making of fabrics, making of yarn from the fabrics, that is called spinning, continuous spinner, that is a small device with which converts the fibers to yarn. And how do you do it? There are devices, number 1, hand spinning, that is called taki in general language. Number 2, spinning wheel, which is known as charkha. When the great Mahatma Gandhi's name comes to, you see charkha, because he used to make the charkha and all those threads are there. And spinning machine, right now there is a spinning machine which in a very large way can spin the threads very, very nice. Number two, making of fabrics from the yarn. Now as the yarn is made, the making of fabrics are done in two processes. One is weaving, the other one is knitting. Now the weaving is actually done in the looms. There are two kinds of looms are there. One is hand loom. If you have gone to the houses when in the huts the people they make the all those weaving, you see the hand looms are there. There are two levers like that. They pull it like that, and the machines come and they make it. And I told you, in each and every case, the threads come in right angles. The incidental way and the horizontal way. So then that is how it is done. So hand looms, that is work that works on the power of the human beings, that by the hands they make it. So naturally that will be slow and in progress. While there is a second type which is known as power loom. The power loom is the almost same device, but it is powered by the electricity. Electricity moves through it, and that they are able to weave the clothes. So this is how the hand loom and the power loom is done. Except that the second one is that of the knitting. Now, earlier the people staying at the terrace, the foothills, they used to know at Darjeeling, the lot of knitting of the sweater, the warm clothes and all is done. Especially the kinds, the people, the ladies, those who stay on the hills, they used to do it by their hands, and they are very expert in this. Right now also that is found in various parts of Siliguri, especially in some market which is named for the knitting market. And there used to be a very common language which is known as at Siliguri and even North Bengal, that is known as the Bhutia market. And the people, those who are called the Bhutia, the ladies of those clans, they used to knit and knit very nicely, and there is a market actually for getting it still now existing. Though there are many, machine work has also come to their business. Anyway, so that is knitting and history of clothing of the materials. Right now, children, these are the ways by which the clothes are made. But have you ever thought of the thing that how did it come? Now, when the human beings had come on the surface of the earth, it is too long to think about. And you see the human beings were nothing but they were adapting by the evolution from the nearest kind of monkeys or the apes. So, in the beginning they were the tree dwellers. They used to be living on the tree. In those days, there were huge plants are there and their big leaves are there. Then suddenly they thought they had to cover their body. So they used to do it by the huge size leaves. And after that huge size leaves, the human beings were progressing because of that development of their brain. Their development of their brain was very fast, and that's why they were thinking, their thinking skills are more. So slowly and gradually they thought of leaves are fragile. That means if you fasten them, sometimes they can just tear and break. So that they started gathering or collecting the barks of the tree. Bark, bark of the tree, the trunk. And the bark they used to use. And even barks, there was some difficulty sitting and all those because it is hard. And the skins of the body used to be bruised and all. So only by thinking, they started thinking what to do. And then they used to go for hunting. Because they used to go for hunting, with the whole team they used to go, even the females, they used to go for hunting, and when they used to go for hunting, they used to kill animals. And those animal skins, suppose an elephant or a huge mammoth or all, so the huge skin used to be coming out of that. And then they used to dry the skin and used to fasten them with the animal skin. And the animal skin has one more benefit, that they have fur on it, so it used to protect them from the severe cold. So this is how the things are going on. And then the next step of the human civilization was that they were becoming slowly and gradually from the food gatherer to food producer. As they have become the food producer, the colonies, the small towns and all those were grown near the river, because river was the source from where they used to get water, the navigation, that is the transport, they used to go by boats and all. And this is how they have started growing the plants which can give them the fiber. In one fine morning, one human being must have discovered that this is the plant from where cotton is obtained. And then the animal skin, they knew the animal skin will do the purpose. So cotton, they started knitting it and slowly they got the cotton fiber and fabric. After that they got the animal wool and all those by the hairs of the animals and all. By almost all the domestic ones, which they used to keep for years, because the sheep is taken and the wool is also, whatever the hairs are there, is cut. Seasonally, the sheep is not killed because they will give you the wool for time and again. So that is why they get. So that is how that is done. And next, they started making the insects use as, that is for observation they have found that this could be a greater quality, and that is why the silk was produced. So that is how the production of the silk was done. So this is the history of the clothing. This is the history of the clothing, and by this they have all come to know about the plants and their fibers, and that is how the fiber has come to fabric. So from the thread to the cloth. Thread, you know, the finer ones, while the cloth is the knitted thread. Well, children, at the end of the chapter, fiber to the fabric, I hope you have understood about all this, and then we are going to discuss about the question answers what is given in your exercise. Let's see, the first item is the very short answers. And these very short answers, the answer of the first one is ship. And the second one, the answer of the second question is, name one fiber obtained from the stem of the plant, and that is flax. Number 3, name any two states in India where jute is mainly grown. West Bengal, Bihar, and these are the two states. Question number 4, name two items that is made of coconut fibers, the ropes and the mats. Ropes and the mats. Question number 5, which of the two are stronger, natural fibers or synthetic fibers? The answer definitely is synthetic fibers, they are strong. And question number 6, number 8, from which part of the plant coconut fiber is obtained? Obviously from the fruit, because the coconut fruit has the fibrous outer coat, from that they make. Well, number B, from which part of the plant jute fiber is obtained? Obviously from the stem. Jute, flax, all those fibers are from the stem. Well, question number 7, name 4 types of fabrics used by us. So they are cotton, nylon, polyester and rayon. And rayon, I told you, is known as the artificial silk. Well, question number 8, state whether the following statement is true or false. First one, the question number 8A is false, 8B is false, 8C is false, 8D is true, 8E is also true, and 8F is false, 8G is true, 8H is false, and 8I is also false. Well, we come to the next question, question number 9. Name 4 materials which were used by the people in ancient times to cover their leaves. Right now I am discussing with you, even then I am telling you the answer. They are the leaves of the trees, huge leaves of the trees. The twigs, sometimes the small twigs used to be fastened around the waist, and the animal skin that I told you, and the hand-woven cloths. Earlier they made hand-woven cloths. Well, question number 10. Question number 10. Name two products obtained by waving twigs and grass. So this is, the answer is, they are mats and the baskets. Baskets are carried by the people, especially in the villages and in the hill villages. You see, they are made out of the twigs and they are made of the twigs and grass. Twigs and grass. Welcome to question number 11. In which region was the cotton grown in India in early days? It was in Gujarat. It was in Gujarat. And question number 12. Question number 12. Name two types of plants which were cultivated near the river Nile in ancient Egypt to obtain fibers for making fabrics, making fabrics. That is, these are white, question number 12. What type of plants? Two types of plants. These are white gold, the cotton plant, and linen, the flax. Okay. Number 13. Name the four types of fabrics for clothing which are still used in unstitched form in our country. Unstitched form in our country. It is the wool, silk, flax, synthetic materials, and coir, fiber, yarn, and earth. Well, the next is the short question answers. That is question number 15. What question number 15 says? Question number 15 says, what are the two types of fibers? Give two examples of each type. Well, question number 15, there are two types of fibers. One are natural fibers like cotton, silk. These are the example. And the other one is synthetic fiber. The example is rayon and nylon. I am telling you again that rayon is known as the artificial silk. Well, question number 16. Question number 16. What is ginning? How is it done? Well, it is the process of separating cotton fibers from the cotton seeds. That is known as ginning. And then, how it is done? It is done by using a combination of the wire string and a small wire hook to pull the cotton through screen. So this is how it is done. Now question number 17. Question number 17 is state various uses of the cotton fiber. The various uses of the cotton fibers are making clothes and dresses, etc. Question number 8. What are the two steps involved in making the fibers from fabrics? The two steps involved are ginning and waving. What is question number 19? Name the device used for waving yarn into fibers, and which of the following usually made by weaving and by knitting. So number 1, the device is known as the looms. Knitting looms, obviously I explained you a little earlier that looms are two types. Hand loom, made by hand, drawn by hands, and the power loom, it is by electricity. And what are those things? Knitting. Knitting is done for the socks, vest, sweater, etc. Weaving is done for the sweater and skirts and all those. Number 20. Classify the following as natural fiber and synthetic fiber. Chart says natural fiber, the wool, cotton, silk, jute. Synthetic fiber, nylon and polyester. Question number 21. What name is given to those fibers which are obtained from plants and animals? Name two fibers which are obtained from plants and two are obtained from the animals. Well, wool, silk and hemp are natural fibers from the plants, organ, polypropylene and etc. from the animals. Question number 22. What type of soil and climate are good for growing cotton? Name any two states where in India the cotton is grown. Number 1, in black soil and warm climate the cotton is growing well. And states are Gujarat, Tamil Nadu and Punjab. Tamil Nadu and Punjab. Question number 23. With which fiber is the term guinea associated? Name 4 animals other than sheep from which wool is obtained. Well, it is cotton. The cotton is the fiber with which the guinea is associated. The 4 animals are goat, rabbits, yak and camels. Question number 24. Name 3 devices for making yarn to fiber. So these 3 devices are hand spindle, which is called takli, and number 2 spinning wheel, which is known as charkha, and 3 spinning machines. Now 25, what is meant by weaving and knitting? Weaving, the process of making a fabric or cloth by arranging yarns, long threads, passing in one direction with other yarns at right angles to them is called weaving. And number 2, knitting, the process of making a fabric by interlocking loops of single yarn with knitting. Needs a machine is called the knitting machine. It is also done by the human beings. Well, we'll come to multiple choice question, and which is known as MCQ. So MCQ, the MCQ question number 31, where the answer will be nylon. Question number 32, your answer will be yarn. Question number 33, your answer will be floss. Question number 34, again your answer will be floss. Question number 35, your answer will be C, silk. And question number 36, D, guinea. 37, D, silk. 38, A, cotton. 39, B, silk. And 40, linen. So these are the answers of the MCQ. We have in our exercise, there are questions as complete questions of 45, and all these questions have been answered and put into your website, and this website is known as www.bsnes.in. I repeat, the website is www.bsnes.in. In this website you go and just see all these answers, and you can take them from there. I hope you have all understood the chapter well. Go through it nicely and go through the question and answers and prepare yourselves well. Keep well. Thank you and have a good day.